Hey guys, it is Wingy here and welcome to a brand new video, or an old one in case you're seeing this years later or for the second or third time. Anyway, in this video I'm going to be looking at some of the worst superhero movies ever made. Now obviously there's some really crap ones from many years ago, but I'm talking about superheroes made in the modern era, and what I mean by that is anything from Batman in 1989 onwards. I know 1989 isn't that modern, but it's sort of the benchmark for the new superhero wave that we are currently in at the minute. It's all opinion. If you love these movies, that is entirely fine, however, I don't. So since we were saying that Batman 1989 is the benchmark, let's talk about one of the most disastrous pieces of shit that has ever happened to Batman. Yeah, it's Batman and Robin. What can I say about this movie that people don't already know? I mean, it's cheesy as hell to the point where it makes Adam West look like Christian Bale in The Dark Knight. So much cheese that you could make a cheese sandwich for the entire world twice. That's probably one of the worst jokes I've ever made. Terrible performances all round. Bat nipples. The actual story of the film feels overly complex, yet incredibly just empty at the same time. Characterization is way off for a lot of the characters. I mean, George Clooney as Batman is just terrible. I mean, fair play to him, he has said that himself. Chris O'Donnell is just crap as Robin as well. Bane comes across more like Solomon Grundy. Uma Thurman, for some reason, won an Oscar. Okay, not for this film, but she won an Oscar, and I know that she's a good actress and other stuff, but you watch this and you think, how are you not nominated for anything other than a Razzie? Which, I mean, she probably was for this film. And Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze is, yeah, the worst portrayal of a villain in any film, I think. But I will say that this movie is actually a lot of fun. It falls under the category of it's so bad that it's actually quite entertaining. You know, you just sit around with your friends, have a couple of drinks, you just watch it, and you just roast the shit out of it, and you have a good laugh, and you'll end up having a good time. But in terms of a superhero movie, in terms of a portrayal as Batman, it's the worst piece of shit we've ever seen. But moving on to the next film that I'm going to talk about, which is Steel. I believe that movie came out around the same time as Batman and Robin, so it sort of gives you a vibe of what 1996 or 7 was like for superheroes. Not a great year. First of all, Shaquille O'Neal as an actor, just why? I'm not going to sit here and say that Steel is like the best superhero of all time, but still, you could have got someone better than Shaquille O'Neal. Again, similar to Batman and Robin, it is also quite cheesy. Not as bad, but still bad. The suit looks ridiculous. Considering that the guy's like over 7 feet tall, you think they would have measured him properly because the suit just looks like it is hanging off him. It looks more like polystyrene than steel. Judd Nelson is the villain in this movie. Yep, that's right, the guy from Breakfast Club and also the guy who voiced Hot Rod in the original Transformers cartoon movie. And he's not a good villain, to be honest. They try to do this thing in the film where it's like a will they won't they thing, and it just doesn't work at all. It feels forced and it doesn't pay off. Plus, because Shaquille O'Neal is obviously a basketball player, they make reference to that in this film a lot. There's so many jokes in this film how Shaq's character just can't hit any single shot in basketball. Ha! See what you did there? It's funny because in real life he actually plays basketball. Zing. Fucking terrible. It's also one of the most forgettable comic book movies I've ever seen. Moving away from the 1990s and moving into this century, we're going with Elektra. Now some people might be expecting me to put Daredevil on here, but I'm not going to. Daredevil isn't great, no, but it's definitely better than all the other films on this list, including Elektra. My main problem with Elektra is Jennifer Garner. She's a really good actress, do not get me wrong, but my issue is Elektra and Jennifer Garner, they are two different types of people. She comes across as too wholesome and too nice to be a badass character like Elektra. I've not seen all of her work, so I don't know if she has played other badass characters and it's worked in other things, but I just think personally for Elektra, her wholesome, pretty, cute, sort of girl next door type vibe about her, it just doesn't really fit. You look at who they've got to play Elektra in the Netflix series and you think, yep, she's pretty much perfect. I don't know, Jennifer Garner's just too mumsy. I don't know what that means, but sure, I'm gonna go with it. Plus, this film is just really boring. There's no standout moments in this film where I look at it and I think, actually, that was really cool. Usually with bad superhero movies, or just bad movies in general, you can look at one thing or just pinpoint one moment. For example, in Daredevil, the scene in the subway, and also the fight at the end against Kingpin. Really great scenes, I think. There is nothing like that in Elektra that stands out to me. Maybe the bit where all the bags of sand drop and she's cutting them all, but a guy getting cut in half in a subway, bags of sand. Plus the fight sequences in this movie just look incredibly choreographed and incredibly forced, and nobody looks comfortable in them. I mean, I know it's a fight, so you're not supposed to be comfortable, you're supposed to be hurting each other, but still, they don't look right doing them. So it is a crap movie, basically. Shocking on a list of bad superhero movies, fuck's sake. Anyway, we're moving on now to a different film a little bit later on, which is X-Men Origins Wolverine. There should be no arguments against this one. Now yes, Hugh Jackman, phenomenal as Wolverine. I will be the first to say that he is probably, alongside Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool and Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, the perfect casting choice for a superhero. However, this movie is just shit. I don't understand how it looks so cheap. Yes, there's some good sequences in it. Yes, Gambit is great, as well as Hugh Jackman. When he's Wade Wilson, Ryan Reynolds is actually really cool. will.i.am is in it. But I mean, the scene where he's in the farmhouse and he's looking at his claws, they are just drawn on with paint or something. It really convolutes things in the X-Men timeline, which was frankly convoluted enough. Like I say, there are some standout moments, there are some standout performances, but overall this movie is just really, really dreary. Deadpool. Now this is by no means the worst thing that this movie did, but actually no, fuck it, yes it is. What they did to Deadpool in this movie, frankly, in my opinion, unforgivable. Okay, they rectified it a few years later with the actual Deadpool movie, and it was absolutely 110% perfection. I wonder if my dad's watching this and I said 110%, I bet that pisses him off. Sorry, Dad. But even so, I don't understand how we got that when it is just nothing like Deadpool. It's like someone just mentioned the name Deadpool and they thought, oh yeah, we can do that, but then just didn't do any research whatsoever. And then just thought, yeah, just give him like big knife hands and he can teleport. Yeah, that'll do. It won't. It really won't. Give us what we want. Okay, they did, but still. Another thing in this film, just remembered, Sabretooth. Absolutely wasted in this film, and it's a shame that we haven't seen him subsequently as well. And I'm going to put a lot of money on the fact that it's probably because of this film. You know, the prequel movies for the X-Men characters I think would have been a pretty good idea, you know, with the likes of Magneto being the one next. Just a waste of potential. That's what this movie is, and Hugh Jackman deserves better. Okay, yes, he got better, as did Ryan Reynolds, but still, it still exists. Okay, in the universe it doesn't because of Days of Future Past, but you know what I mean, the movie physically still exists, I can still watch it and it's fucking shit. Next. Okay, last one I'm going to talk about is Fant4stic, i.e. we don't know what the fuck we're doing, but we just don't want Marvel to have the rights back. This movie was atrocious. I've briefly spoken about the Fantastic Four before. This movie just does not know what it wants to be. Tonally speaking, it's all over the place. Sometimes it's horror, sometimes it's comedy, sometimes it's superhero, sometimes it's sci-fi, and this is chopping and changing from scene to scene. The cast, on the whole, crap. Michael B. Jordan I think was the strongest, but all of the others, great actors, just horrendously miscast. Doctor Doom in this movie can just fuck off, because I don't even know if that was supposed to be Doctor Doom or just some weird clusterfuck of let's piss the fans off. I do not understand how we had two, technically three, Fantastic Four movies before, universally not liked, and yet in 2015 we get a really cheap looking Fantastic Four movie that not only makes the mistakes of the other movies, but adds new mistakes as well. It was clearly not done for the right reasons. It was literally done just so Marvel could not get the rights back. Maybe one day we'll actually get a good version of the Fantastic Four. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Obviously I've not done this in any particular order. You may have noticed that I did it in timelines in terms of when they were released. Do you agree with the choices on this list? What other movies would you throw in here? I mean, there are plenty, but whatever your thoughts, let me know. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like on it. Subscribe if you want to see more. You do any of that, I would love you forever. But until next time, guys, you take care of yourselves. Goodbye.